Hello everyone and welcome to Africanews. Today in an exclusive interview we welcome one of the big names in the football world. Didier Drogba is here with us. Hello Didier.
Hello.
Thank you very much for having us.
You're welcome.
As Africanews celebrates its 5 years, we want to talk to you about something that you are passionate about, the African continent.
Indeed.
What is your opinion on Africa in the last 5 years?
Well, the African continent, even though it is behind on several aspects such as governance, it is still a continent in the works. And I think as a whole, we are making progress. When you look at the average age of the people, it's very young. We are a young and dynamic continent. In my opinion, there has been clear improvement over the last 5 years, and that's because Africa is now desired by everyone. Now, of course, it is up to our leaders to see what is at stake and to get to work on the essential pillars of development, which are health and education. And of course, I am not an economist, but I think that a simultaneous evolution of the main sectors can be achieved. Finally, I think that it is difficult to give an opinion on Africa in general because each country has its own specificity, its traditions, and its culture, which differ from one country to another. And I think that it is imperative to take this into account.
2021, just like 2020, has been marked by the COVID-19 pandemic. In your opinion, what are the levers that could enable us to stay on our feet despite everything? What could enable African countries to remain standing despite everything?
The African continent has been very lucky overall. We were rather spared. When you compare it to other countries, to other continents that were affected by this pandemic. However, I think we have to continue to raise awareness and to improve our health systems, as this will enable us to save lives. Not only in relation to this pandemic, but in relation to any other disease that is hurting the continent. We also have to emphasize social distancing and other barrier gestures, and of course the vaccine, which is now available to the population. But that's creating some controversy. In any ways, I think it is necessary to get vaccinated. There are no reasons to be reluctant, because it is about the survival of our species. And I think that people who have been vaccinated today are at a lesser risk. The best way to eradicate this disease is to get the vaccine and to take the appropriate measures by respecting the social distancing.
Let's talk a bit about you and your perspectives. What are your hopes and wishes for the next 5 years? And this is not only for all the works you do on the ground through the Didier Drogba Foundation, but also your hopes for African countries.
Well, my hope for African countries for the next 5 years, or even 10 or 20 years, is that we can have a stable continent with less and less conflicts, which will allow the population of a continent that is very young to take its destiny in its own hands. And to avoid fleeing to the West with the dangerous crossing of the Mediterranean Sea, which costs lives. A youth that is at the heart of all activities and development of our countries. It is true that each country has its own peculiarity and specificity, but as a whole, these young people must be uplifted. These young people must be supported. They must be guided, and I insist on very important sectors such as health, education, and employment generation, so that we can keep our young people on our land and develop our respective countries with their knowledge. I have a lot of hope for this continent through programs like the one that will be launched with the Didier Drogba Foundation, the digital literacy program, where over the next 5 years we plan to make more than 3 million people in Ivory Coast literate, and of course to take this project to the sub-region and the entire African continent. So this is our own way of doing things as the Didier Drogba Foundation to contribute to the development of the country and especially our continent.
Africanews
turns 5 years old. Is it important for the continent to have such an independent Pan-African media?
First of all, I'd like to say a happy anniversary to Africanews. And yes, of course, it is important to have this independent media which provides quality information, especially to inform our people of what is going on around the world. The media is crucial to the evolution of a continent, of a country or a nation. They play a very, very important role in conflict resolution, in calming down situations, and in all areas, whether it be in sports, in politics, in health, in education. And I encourage you, and I wish you 5 more good years to come.
Didier Drogba, thank you very much. Stay in good health. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us. Stay tuned on Africa News.